All right, we're going to talk a little bit more about my visit to the Playboy Mansion in just a few seconds. You're absolutely positively in the right place because this is the Chris Top Program.
The Top, broadcasting live to at least 3 people on Spreaker.com.
Facebook, it's like jail. You sit around, waste time, have a profile picture, write on walls, and get poked by guys you really don't know.
Mr. Pop.
Dorks of the world, unite. No, okay, listen closely. It's not WOBA, it's WABA.
Mr.
This is the Chris Top Program, broadcasting worldwide to at least 3 people.
And I am the one and only Chris Top, broadcasting live from my lavish studio apartment here in sunny Clarksville, Tennessee, with an ocean view. All right, and I can't jump right back into the story because, well, there's people that have to come back because I don't want to do that, but then they'll be like, well, what did I miss? So we have to stall for a little while, and I promise you, I'll give myself at least a good solid 20 minutes. And I'm hoping that'll be long enough to finish the story because I know all of you are on the edge of your seats. I know you are. Now, eventually, I might share some psychiatrist stories with you. That was a weird experience for me, going to the psychiatrist. But I don't even want to start that now because, well, if I get on that, then I might go another 30 minutes and I'll totally just leave out the chiropractor story. So we'll wait on that one, and we'll tell that on a later day, I think. It's pretty interesting, though, so we can... Well, I'll put that in my notebook. And we'll talk about that some other time. Now, while we're waiting on everybody to get here, let's do this. What do you think would stunt a child's growth? I know what everybody's thinking. Everybody's going to say coffee. Don't drink coffee when you're a little kid because you're going to be a tiny person. You're going to be one of those little people because coffee stunts your growth. Well, I don't know how true that. I have no idea. I'm waiting for the studies to come out. But I will tell you this. More than 3.1 million people die each year due to malnutrition. Now, one of the causes of that, cleaner water is the most effective way to reduce that number. Clean water. Now, in America, we take that for granted, for sure. Now, there's a study by the London School of Hygiene and the Tropical Medicine and the charity WaterAid suggest that simple improvements to water quality, sanitation, and better hygiene could also add 0.5 centimeter in height to children under 5. Doesn't seem like that much, but I mean, if you think about it, if you think about drinking dirty water or taking showers in dirty water, I mean, 0.5 centimeter, I guess that's pretty big, I guess. And it's because dirty water can increase the chances of getting an infection, which reduces how many nutrients are absorbed and has a negative impact on growth. So whenever you see a short person at the mall, hand them a bar of deodorant and give them some distilled water. Now, disinfecting water with solar energy, educating people, and providing more soap, and that's what I just said. That's exactly what I said. Could help the estimated 165 million kids worldwide who have stunted growth. So let's all get together from the Chris Top program. Let's come up with 165 million bars of soap. And then Keena can come up with a postage, and then we'll get that out right away. We have to do our part. I think, to help the short people of the world. See, I don't know how serious I can take these studies. I really don't. All right, now who's in the chat? Is everybody here? Because I don't want anybody to miss anything. I don't want anybody to be like, what did I miss? Can you go back? Can you please go back? And see, that's the only downside of these 30-minute shows. I've got to plan better. That's part of my problem. I have to plan the whole thing better. So I'd like to welcome Live to Chat Radio. We also have Kina in the chat. We have DJ Danish. DJ Danish, it's good to see you. And thank you for the follow, DJ. I appreciate that. Chris is giving out free showers for young people. No, don't say that. See, somebody's going to rip that from my show now. And they're going to be like, look at Chris Top. He's evil. The free showers for the young people. What is he doing? What kind of show is he running over there in his little dork show? Kina says, hey, oh my gosh, I haven't caught a show in a while. And I think she's talking to Danish. What, Scooter? What? Scooter said, guess what? So I'm waiting because I'm a horrible guesser. I really am. So just tell me. I'm drinking Mountain Dew. I'm only going to guess what Scooter's probably drinking Red Bull. Okay, we'll give it just a couple more minutes because I don't want anybody to miss any of the story because I could rewind a little bit, I guess, and we could talk about the chiropractor and the chicks again. I swear, it was like I was Hugh Hefner. And I just walked into the Playboy Mansion. And I don't know if I just lucked out and I picked the best chiropractor in town, or if that's just how all chiropractors are. Has anybody else ever been to the chiropractor? Were there beautiful women everywhere? Was it like, did you feel like Hugh Hefner? When you walk in, did they give you this red silky robe and a pipe? That's what they should do, I think. Or maybe, like I said earlier, maybe they should just hand me the lay. That would be kind of nice. So all of the over-the-hill Victoria's Secret models, they end up retiring at a ripe old age of 24. And by the time the Victoria's Secret models hit 24, they are so ugly. It's like, oh my gosh, look at you. Look, that push-up bra is not going to do anything for you, sister. It's not going to do a thing for you. Just forget about it. Okay, you are no longer a Victoria's Secret model. It's back to McDonald's for you. Okay, it's back to frying French fries. And because you're around all that grease, you're eventually going to get zits. So you'll never be in Victoria's Secret. But you had a good few years. I mean, from 18 to 22, that's pretty good. So I'm thinking maybe the retired models actually go to work for the chiropractor. So back to my story. So the receptionist, she looks at me and she says, "Can I help you?" And that's how I remember it. Her saying it like that. And then I said, "Yeah, my back hurts." So I get up and I walk over there and I thought in my mind, okay, I've got to be careful because I don't want to squeal out because my back hurts, even though I'm at the chiropractor. I don't want to trip or anything. You know, I should have told that other story too about the paper bag and the doctor. Remember that one? I forgot about that one. That's okay. We're going to save that one for tomorrow because that's a great story. It really is. It's embarrassing as hell. So I'm making my way up to the receptionist, and I look into her eyes. I didn't hear a thing she said. She could have told me, "All right, you are going to sell your soul to the chiropractor. Are you okay with that?" And all I would have heard was, "Hey, baby." That's all I would have heard. And I would have said, "Okay, yeah, no problem. Where do I sign?" "Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll sign right there." And I would have been okay. with that. And I got you, Holly. We'll chit chat after I'm finished, and we'll make you a better broadcaster. So I finish up with a receptionist, and I go back and I sit down, and I keep seeing all these beautiful women. I felt like I was dreaming. Everything was in slow motion. The chiropractor has my soul. That sounds like a movie, doesn't it? Like maybe a movie that you would want to go see. It's this summer, the chiropractor will take your soul. Hey, baby, you want to get laid? So I mean, I could see a movie preview in there somewhere. And those guys that do those voiceovers for the movies, they're all really old. They really are. So eventually they've got to start dying. So I'm thinking there might be an opening. There's only like 4 of them that do these voices. So I'm thinking eventually there's going to be an opening somewhere. Chaz says 55 is the new 45 for men, but the new 65 for women. The chiropractor has your soul. We've got Melissa in the chat. She says, hey now, Holly, is still intend to be having fun and living life when I'm 55. I would totally go see that movie. I would too, I think. Who would be in it? We would have to have Megan Fox in it. We'd have to have Kate Upton in it. They would have to get into a slow-motion pillow fight. So, sometime in the movie. Maybe in a little kiddie pool full of Jell-O. Would be interesting. But it all has to be in slow motion. It's like you walk into the chiropractor's office, and lo and behold, there's a kiddie pool in the middle of the floor. It's full of what kind of Jell-O? Are we thinking green Jell-O? Are we thinking red? I'm thinking maybe a mixture of both. I wouldn't pull mud into the chiropractor's office. I would stick with the Jell-O. Maybe you could have one of those little slides that go down in it. And as you walk in, Kate Upton is sliding down the slide in slow motion into the strawberry. Thank you, Keena. Into the strawberry Jell-O. And she says we, and then she lands in the pool, and then her and Megan Fox just go at it in slow motion. See, that would be a great chiropractor trip, I think. So anyway. So I'm sitting there and I'm seeing all these beautiful women just pass by, and there could have been 1 or 2 that weren't angelic, but I didn't notice them because of all the other ones. So eventually I'm sitting there, I'm trying to look at a magazine, but really what I'm doing, you know how the spies, they have those magazines up to their face and they've got their eyes just barely over the top and they're just kind of spying on somebody? Well, that's what I was doing. See, I was trying to play it cool, so I picked up a copy of, what was it? I don't know what it was. I couldn't tell you what magazine it was. I probably had it upside down. But I'm sitting there and I'm looking up over the top of the magazine, just trying to count all of these beautiful women. So then I hear from the side, there was the left side of the office, There was an entrance straight ahead behind the receptionist, and then there was one to the left. And I hear from the left, Mr. Top, you can come back now. So then I heard the porno music playing. I kept expecting the pizza boy to come in and steal my thunder. So I get up, and again my back is like, ah. So I stand up, and she says, are you okay, baby? She didn't say baby, but I just threw that part in there. And I said, yeah, I'm fine. I'll be okay. And I gave her that look that the leading man in a movie gives right before he saves the hottie. So she takes my hand. She doesn't really take my hand. She walks me back to this room. It looks like a dungeon. It looks like something crazy out of Pulp Fiction. At that point, I almost turned around and left, but then I was thinking, well, it couldn't be that bad because all these women are beautiful. So I said, where do you want me? And she said, well, just lay down right here. We're going to get up against the wall. Spread your legs. So she said, lay down, and we're going to shock you. And I'm like, what? You're gonna do what? You're gonna shock me? I've already been shocked like 8,000 times when I walked in here. But so I laid down, and she said, where does it hurt? And I said, no, that doesn't know. Oh, ow, ow, that's it, right there. Yep, that's where it hurts. So she puts this little Frankenstein thing on my back, and then she says, now there's another spot too, right? Because you indicated 2 different spots. I said, yeah, it's up toward the top, right? Ow, there it's at. That's it. She said, well, we're just going to loosen you up right now, and then the chiropractor will see you in just a minute. And I'm like, you're not the chiropractor? Who are you? And see, and if I was anywhere close to being cool, I would have asked for her phone number, but I there's no way. There's no way. So I'm sitting there, I'm getting shocked, and she said, okay, tell me when it starts to hurt. So she's like, okay, right there, it hurts. So she turns it down a little bit. So I lay there for 10 minutes getting shocked, and it's supposed to loosen me up a little bit. And I skipped the part. They took x-rays and things. Well, I haven't got to that part yet. So they shock me for a while. And it's x-ray time because they want to know exactly what's going on. And so I go back to the x-ray part, and the chiropractor walks in. I swear she's beautiful. And you would not, gorgeous. She's like this tall blonde, and I usually don't get into blondes. I really don't. And I felt like I was in the 3rd grade again because every time she would bend down, I would be like, okay, I can't look. I'm going to get busted looking. Okay, I got to stop. Looking. So I'm sitting there, and I'm trying not to look down her shirt. And, there's a good chance she's listened to these programs, and I am so embarrassed if she has. I am so freaking embarrassed. But so I'm sitting there, and now I've got to say this. There are 2 kinds of boxers or of tighty-whities or underwear that men have. And I think Travis can agree with me when I say this. He says, hey there, Hoss. I don't get to stay for the show, but I did want to say hi, and hi to everyone else in the chat. Guys, go ahead real quick. Spread the Spreaker love. If you do a show here on Spreaker, type the word show into the chat. And anybody that types the word show, make sure you give them a follow, give them a listen. If you like it, that's great. If you don't like it, then you don't have to listen. But go ahead and spread that Spreaker love, and I'll give you a minute to do that. So there are 2 kinds of underwear that men have. You have the kind of boxers that you're going to wear if you feel like you're going to get lucky. And those are the same boxers that you're going to wear if you feel like if you're going to get a physical. Meaning that they're boxers that look good, that don't have any rips or holes or anything like that. So I had on the boxers that I didn't want to get lucky, or I didn't plan on getting lucky in, or that I when you go to the chiropractor, you don't expect to take your pants off. And see, this would have been great. This would have been wonderful had I been prepared, because I've got this beautiful blonde chiropractor asking me to take my pants off. That would have been pretty cool if I would have had on the right boxers. But see, the problem is, the boxers that I had on, it looks like I had just barely escaped a shark attack. They were horrible. They were in shreds. Now, guys, males who are listening to this show, if you ever think you're going to have to take your pants off for anything, go out and buy some nice boxer shorts. You don't want any stains. You don't want any rips or tears, or you don't want anything like that. You don't. You want to have some nice boxer shorts. And you need to make sure you're prepared. So, I was not prepared because it's the chiropractor. They look at your back. I didn't know I was going to have to take my pants off for an x-ray. So any little hope, any little glimmer that I had that I was going to escape there and be a little bit cool, at this point is gone. Because I know as soon as I take my pants off, she's going to see everything. I'm not ready for her to see everything. This is our first date. I don't want her to see my stuff. So I look at her and I said, Doc, I got to be honest with you. If I'm going to take my pants off, I've got this giant rip in the back of my pants. So you're going to see my ass. That's what I told her. And then she looks at me and she smiles and she said, well, at least you have on underwear. So I'm thinking guys go in there all the time with no underwear on and they have to take their pants off. That would be horrible. I mean, at least I felt like a little bit like Tarzan. Because you know how Tarzan had that little cloth thing over the front and over the back, and you could kind of see the side of it. That's kind of how I felt. So I said, okay. So I slide my pants off, and I know she's seeing everything. I know she is. And guys, it was cold in that office too. It's kind of like shrinkage when you go to the pool. You know, it's like you might be packing a certain amount of length, and then when you're cold, that goes away, and you're not. It's not something you're going to brag about. So I took my pants off, and I'm standing there freezing, and I know there's nothing. I mean, she's seeing it, but it's not anything. So I lay down, and I feel such a draft go over my ass, and I know she can see my bare ass because I have to lay on my stomach because she's examining my back. And I can't wait for this to be over. Then she asked for me to turn over, and I know there's other stuff that's hanging out, and I'm just so embarrassed. And finally she says, okay, you can stand up. And I'm thinking, oh, great. So I stand up, and I get ready to put my pants on. She goes, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm like, what? Why do I, why? Why can't I need to put my pants on? She says, no, now we've got to take your x-ray. So I have to walk over to the other side of the room, and I've got on my t-shirt and my boxers that like I said, it looks like I'd barely escaped a shark attack. So I'm walking on this cold, hard floor, and I go over to the x-ray machine, and the x-ray machine, it's only x-raying my top half. So again, I'm thinking, why in the hell did I have to take my pants off? I could have left my pants on for this, seriously. I was thinking that in my mind. So she tells me to stand here. Okay, move. I felt like I was getting my picture. Well, I guess I was. So she goes, stand here and be really, really, really still. So I said, okay, I'm going to be really still. Let's get this over with. So she hits a button, and she's like, ooh. I'm like, what is it? Just let's do this. Let's get this done so I can put my pants on. So she hits another button, and she's like, She goes, the x-ray machine's not working. So I'm standing there with all my stuff hanging out in front of this beautiful woman, and the x-ray machine's not working. It's prolonging the agony is what it's doing. So then she calls for help. So not only is this beautiful blonde in the room looking at my stuff, Kate Upton invites Megan Fox in. And see, there's supposed to be slow-motion Jell-O fighting in the lobby. They're not supposed to be back there looking at me in my shredded boxer shorts. So Megan Fox comes in, and Kate Upton's there, and they're both fiddling around with the X-ray machine. And I know they keep looking over at me, and they keep giggling. And I felt like I was in high school again. I felt like I was in high school again. The mean girls just took my milk money, and now they're laughing at me. That's how I felt. And maybe they weren't really giggling. I mean, they were actually very professional, but I know they knew something. And I wasn't about to look down because I didn't want to know what was sticking out. I didn't want to know what they were seeing. I just wanted to get my pants on and get the hell out of there. That's all I wanted at this point. And it's like my whole fantasy had just been shattered. My whole fantasy had been ruined. And I think Jessica Alba was there. Now that you mention it, Live to Chat. And Keena's got some good ideas. You guys keep naming some names, and I'll add all these to my fantasy. So finally they get the X-ray machine working. She takes her picture, and then I can finally put my pants on. Finally. So then it's not over. She asked me to go back to this other room, and I lay on this torture-looking couch thing. And I lay down, and I have to hang on to these handles, and she straps my ankles down, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what's going on now? So I don't think she really did this, but this is what it felt like. She stood on my back and jumped up and down. That's not what she really did. But she had the palms of her hands on my back, and she would put all of her might into it and just press on my back, and she wouldn't stop until it cracked. She beat the hell out of me in there. She beat the absolute hell out of me in that office. I walked out of there feeling worse than I ever had. But I'll tell you what, my back is better now than it's ever been. And I cannot wait to go back to the chiropractor. I love going to the chiropractor. I do. I would go to the chiropractor 5 times a week. If I had a healthy back, if my back never bothered me at all, I would go to the chiropractor just to hang out in the lobby and sip on Bahama Mamas. That's what I would do. And they could charge me my $25 a visit. And that's how much it costs me because my insurance pays for the rest. So it's like $25 a pop for me, but it's worth every dime of it. Chaz says, oh, they were sirens and they put you in a medieval torture chamber. See, there are so many angles, really, to go with this with. Now, in the upcoming episodes, I want you to get to know who I am. And the best way for me to do that is to tell you these types of stories just so you can sort of peel back the layers and get inside my mind. Now, I have some inspirational stories to tell you, maybe a couple of tearjerkers, and I have another comical story to tell you. And I can't wait to tell you this one because it's really embarrassing. And it's been a long time since I've told this story. So you can listen for all of this stuff on the next few upcoming episodes. And, of course, there'll be some regular Chris Top stuff. And what am I trying to do? I'm trying to reacquaint myself with the Spreaker audience. And I'm trying to get into iHeartRadio. So if you haven't followed me on Spreaker yet, please do that, because if they're even going to consider me, I've got to have 100 followers to even be considered. Thank you guys so much for listening. I do not, nor will I ever take any of you for granted, because I know there are a million other things you could do, but you choose to listen to me. And I'll tell you what, that 30 minutes flies by, doesn't it? It goes by super fast, doesn't it? It really does. And I will accept you. If you guys follow me, I'll follow you back for sure. That's it. That's all I've got time for. I have to go. Holly, I'll accept you on Skype, and we'll talk through some of your stuff here in just a little while. But please follow me, tweet with me, stumble with me, tumble with me, all that good stuff. And we'll see what happens. So until I broadcast again, please remember, life is good. Waba to all of you. And I'm gone.
You have been exposed to the Chris Top program. Tune in next, yeah,
I don't have a schedule.
right.